So with regard to Ahlul Qibla, from those who face the Qibla and they pray their prayers, that we do not say about them that they are kuffar due to the sins that they have committed. And we do not say about them after they have died that for sure they are in the hellfire, even if they were fornicators, even if they were murderers, even if they were individuals who drank intoxicants or combined all of the sins together, as long as they were from Ahlul Qibla, as long as they prayed towards our Qibla. That if they committed any of these sins, it does not take them outside the fold of Islam. As for the Khawarij of the past and the Khawarij of the present, like Jamaatul Jihad and Jamaat Hijra wa Takfir and the various groups of Ikhwanul Muslimin and those that branched up from Ikhwanul Muslimin, and know, my brothers and sisters, that Ikhwanul Muslimin, those Muflisun, the Ikhwan, the corrupted brotherhood, the founder Hassan al-Banna, and those who followed their methodology, they are amongst those individuals who cause the greatest corruption upon the earth today. And almost every single deviant group that is involved in politics today split away or is a splinter from this group. Whether it be Hizb ut-Tahrir, or the group of Taqiyuddin and Nabahani that was set up in the 50s, or whether it be the various branches of Qutubiyya, like the Sururiyya and Qutubiyya and Jamaatul Takfir and Jamaat Hijra wa Takfir and Jamaatul Jihad and the FIS in Algeria, and the various groups that you have in this land today, like Islam and Ayana and the various other groupings, the Maududis grouping in Pakistan, and the various other Jama'at of Egypt, like Jamaatul Islami and Hamas and Jamaatul Jihad. All of these groupings are splinters from the ideology of Ikhwanul Muslimin. And all of the corruption that's come about, even Al-Qaeda, the group of this Mufsid, Osama bin Laden, is from the results of the teachings of the likes of Sayyid Qutb and Ikhwanul Muslimin. And this is what they've been nurtured upon. So all of this fasad emanated from this group. So these individuals, the Khawarij, who declare the believers, and they declare the Muslims to be disbelievers on account of a sin, that you hear them saying, that do you not see so and so a ruler? Do you not see such and such a king that he was gambling in the casinos of Paris and Monte Carlo? Verily he's a kafir, they say. And they declare him to be a disbeliever because they claim that he used to gamble in the casinos of Europe. And they say that Fulan and Fulan is a kafir because he used to fornicate with the women of Europe. And they say that Fulan and Fulan is a kafir because he cooperated with the Americans in such and such an issue. So they declare the believers and the Muslims to be disbelievers due to what they perceive to be sins. And some of them may not even be sins. Some of them may not even be sins. And some of them may be matters which were obligatory upon the Muslims to enter into. Some of them may be matters of ijtihad. And they still declare the believers to be kuffar because of it. So do you not see those mufsidun, those corrupt ones, who say that the rulers of the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they are kuffar, because they allowed the Americans to come into the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So because of this, they are kuffar. They allowed the Americans to come to repel the enemy, meaning Iraq, during the first Gulf War, at the beginning of the 1990s and the end of the 80s, in 1990 and 91. That they claim that by inviting over the American troops into the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that this is somehow kufr akbar, the major kufr, that expelled the all of the rulers of the kingdom of Saudi Arabia outside the fold of Islam. And therefore, since it was the scholars, like the great Imam, Shaykhul Islam, Shaykhul Islam Abdul Aziz Ibn Baz, and Muhammad Ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen, who allowed them to come into the country, so therefore they are kuffar, they say. And the soldiers and the military of Saudi Arabia that cooperate with the Americans, and their generals and their colonels and their captains and their soldiers, all of those are kuffar also. And like this they filter all the way down to the society. The doctors who were involved in the alliance from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they are kuffar also. And the nurses, and the medical facilities, and the porters that were working in the hospitals, all of them in their eyes are kuffar. And before you know it, the whole of the society in their eyes became kuffar because of this one issue. And if they were to ponder upon this issue, and look upon the issue, then they would realize that they were the ones in error, and they were the ones who had entered into corruption. Because first and foremost, allowing the Americans into the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was not a sin. It was not a sin. And nor was it something blameworthy, but rather it was something praiseworthy to allow them in to defend the land of Tawheed from that kafir, mulhid, communist and his army from invading the land of Tawheed, Saddam Hussein. That is kafir, mulhid, as Shaykh Fawzan called him, kafir, mulhid, communist, who left Iraq and went into Kuwait. He violated the wealth of the Muslims, and he took their wealth as if they were kuffar, and he took their wealth as if it was war booty, and took it back into Iraq. And the soldiers made the blood of those Kuwaiti Muslims permissible. Saddam Hussein made their blood permissible, and they spilled the blood of the Muslims. And then he came to the border of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and he wanted to invade the kingdom, and he took his troops to the border. So now, the question arises, is it now permissible for a land that does not have the ability to defend itself, and they have seen this evil from this kafir who invaded Kuwait and killed the Muslims of Kuwait, took their wealth as if he was upon the battlefield with the kuffar, and took booty from them, drove the cars, the GMCs and other than that back into Iraq, stole their television, stole their gold, broke into their banks, took the wealth of the Muslims and drove back into Iraq. Now he amasses at the border of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the land of Tawheed, and he wishes to invade it. Do they not have some recourse? If they don't have the ability to defend, is it permissible for them to seek the aid of those who are able to aid them? So where did they go? They went to the imams of the mamlaka. They didn't go to any jahil in the street. The rulers themselves, they went to the scholars. Even that in itself is a fadl, is an excellence of an individual. That when an issue becomes difficult, and it's becoming an issue of life and death, and the land is about to be invaded, most people, they won't even think. They'll run to the first issue that they can, and they'll defend their land. But here we have the umara and the rulers of that land going to the most knowledgeable man in that country, Shaykh Abdul Aziz ibn Baz, and those with him from the Lajna Da'ima, and the likes of Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen, seeking advice from them. Ya Mashayikh, O scholars, O A'immah, we are in this difficulty. This kafir communist who rules his country by communism and Marxism wants to invade this land of Tawheed, in which there are Islamic universities, in which there are scholars, in which the Tawheed is taught in the schools, in which there is a group of individuals who enjoin the good and forbid the evil, in a land in which there is not a single church, not a single synagogue, not a single temple for the worship of the false gods, not a single grave that is allowed to be worshipped in that country. This mulhid kafir wants to come. In every single mosque, Kitab al-Tawheed is taught. He wants to come and invade this land. Oh, our father Ibn Baz, tell us what to do. Give us some nasiha. What do we do? Can we seek the aid of the kuffar? Because we are not able to defend ourselves. And they sought the advice from this great Imam, Abdul Aziz ibn Baz and Ibn Uthaymeen.